Okay, Manchester United will be visiting Anfield this Sunday. Based on their current form. Let's look at the current form.
Baptism of fire.
I'm expecting Liverpool to trash Manchester United, like proper trash.
In the last three seasons, for every time we have met them, is it 3 seasons? Last 3.5 or thereabouts seasons. For all the times we have met them, they have whooped us. I think we only won the FA Cup, and then there was one where we played a draw. That was 2 seasons ago, where they picked 4 points off.
Last season at Old Trafford. Draw.
Or possible 6. Bro, but the margin, I think in that period, they have scored, is it 24-3 or thereabout in terms of goals difference? It's always been 3, 5, 3. I think.
Don't forget 7.
I'll be very honest with you, right? With what I'm seeing, and honestly,
first thing I'm going to do tomorrow morning is to take Onana out of my fantasy team first.
See, bro, I'm going to be very honest with you, right? I understand the whole, our players are trash, this and that. Bro, those players are not as bad as Ruben Amorim are making them look. I understand that they have their weaknesses in terms of physicality, nonchalancy, poor professionalism, name it, inconsistency. But I'll be honest with you, that squad, those players are not as bad as Ruben Amorim have made them appear in the last 11 games he has been in charge. I'll tell you something. We are yet to win a match where right backs, our left and right backs, full backs have played as wing backs. We are yet to win a game. The times we won was when Ahmad played as a full back. Now you have Anthony, who
fullback or wing back.
Wing back. For me, Anthony, looking at his profile, is a player that will fit in well as a wing back. I see no reason you keep playing Diogo Dalot. Diogo Dalot contributes nothing as a wing back in the final third. He doesn't cross the ball. He doesn't pass the ball, into dangerous positions. He doesn't do nothing. He just goes there, wastes a couple seconds, passes the ball back in the middle of the park, or kicks it back to the defensive line. That is unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. Look, Ruben, the Newcastle game, I was trying to not speak, but the Newcastle game for me, the no-brainer is Zexi is starting. You can't tell me that you as a coach, you say, you've been following the Premier League for a couple seasons now. You said, you've been there a month now, 2 months. In Manchester United, you and your team of coaches and your analysts have looked at the squad, looked at the player profiles. You've been telling us about trying to do pairings and partnership. That is why you keep on making some hilarious substitutions and bringing about some very lousy starting lineups and even worse and much more terrible substitutions in the game. You can't tell me that you analyze Newcastle in the last couple of games, 5-6 games that they have played and been building up on their form and their confidence. You saw the Newcastle side with a midfield of Grumeresh, please remind me of them. Yeah, Jolinton
and what was his name? Tonali.
And then you saw that midfield with your squad being depleted as a result of Bruno's and Ugate's absence owing to accumulated cards and then, red card respectively. You looked at that squad, you had Eriksen and Casemiro as the next senior players who can start, no problem. You didn't want to play, what's the lad's name? Is it Koila or what? The other midfielder. That's fine. You play them, and if you tell me that you analyze Newcastle and Zexi is a perfect fit for a 10 in that game, then you need to relinquish your coaching badge. you need to relinquish your coaching badge You can't. I understand that the players have a bulk of responsibility in terms of how they went about the game, but that midfield lacked legs. There was no pace or physicality in the middle of the park against the trio of Joelinton, Guimaraes, and what's it called? Is it Keza? His name? Tonali, rather. Tonali. You can't tell me that you saw that midfield, the height, the physical presence, the mobility, the ball control and quality in that trio, and then you brought in Zexi as the 10. Watch the difference about 33 minutes when Kobe Mino came in. He was able to then stabilize the game, brought in more legs inside the game. Did you see the way Tonali was basically putting Eriksen on spin circles? He sort of like left him on a roller. He just kept on utilizing the guy because he didn't have the mobility, no recovery. You can't tell me that, look, stop sounding philosophical. You're not doing nothing different in football. We have seen coaches play out this very formation, the 3-4-3 formation, 3-5-2 formation. We have seen Conte play it. We see Brentford play it. And sometimes, even this season, they have played it a couple of times. We have seen Van Gaal play. I'm even talking like in most recent times. We have seen Brighton play out this formation
this
also. Sometimes
this guy plays it too. The coach of Atlanta.
It's also a common style of football, or will I say formation in Italian football league. Even the Italian national team plays it. The Portuguese national team sometimes plays it. So you're not doing nothing different in football. There's nothing. The whole blah 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 whatever media coverage. The whole noise all around what he's doing. But there's nothing different this guy is bringing into football. He's not doing. Since PlayStation 1, this formation has been. Sega Mega Drive had this formation. So what is it? Alien to us. If you're a football lover, this formation is not alien to you. What I'm saying is this: you can't tell me that these players are this terrible. You're bringing out the best from these players. It seems like the players again want to follow you.
Let's go back to Dalot. Let's go back to Dalot.
I'm coming. Which manager for your last 7 games or 8 games you have started just one? Ahmad, look at what Newcastle did. They swamped all over Ahmad, 3 and 4 players each time he was on the ball. Exactly the same thing that happened in Wolverhampton. When we went to Wolverhampton, you saw the same thing. They swamped Ahmad each time he was on possession. Look, I do analysis, right? At my place of work, I do analysis. I can tell you something. Data is a liar. The best judge up until today is our naked eyes. For me, the perfect judge up until today is what the eye sees and interprets to the brain. Let's forget this data sometimes. What the data just does is that, what data does in summary is that data looks at the past, puts up certain things, and tries to predict what the future will look like, which is terrible. It's basically just individual. If you're good in statistics, you can manipulate data to achieve whatever thing you're looking to achieve. You could manipulate data to get your CEO pen his signature on whatever it is you intend for. Let's stop singing all this bullshit. And time again, we're seeing some of the world best coaches in Jose Mourinho, in Allegri, in the man in Real Madrid. What's it called again? Carlo Ancelotti. We've seen these guys time again outdo all these young managers who keep making too much noise just by doing football, just play football. Sometimes they overcomplicate the game. Tell me, I understand you want to play this, but in the whole of Premier League, a team like Manchester United, just one winger, but then you see the difference. The moment he has Garnacho or 2 other wingers, or 3 of them, sometimes with Ahmad, when he brings on Ahmad he brings on Anthony and has Ahmad and then Garnacho, you see the fluidity. Activity begins to spring up. You can't tell me that in the Premier League, you are going 8 games with one winger, starting the game. You are sick upstairs. You don't know the Premier League. You have to relinquish your coaching badge. I understand that these players are terrible. We want a shitload of them, a truckload of them shipped out. I can go on naming comfortably about 5-6 players which want them to be shipped out of that roster because they are just basically occupying spaces and not playing. Starting from Luke Shaw, Tyler Malasha, Johnny Evans, Victor Lindelof, Casemiro, Eriksen. They all need to leave that football club. Anthony, leave that football club. 8 players I've mentioned now who are basically just in a 23-man squad. If you have 8 players as deficiency or excesses or surpluses to requirement, then it shows how depleted your squad is. So what I'm saying in essence is this team, this crop of players are good enough to finish you 4th in the Premier League. A Premier League where teams are inconsistent this season. A Premier League where Nottingham Forest is sitting 3rd on the log. Where Aston Villa and the rest of them are doing well. A Premier League when it says where you have some of the not so big clubs doing exceptionally well. And the points margin just varying somewhere between 6 points to 2 points. And then suddenly you just look over your shoulder, you are battling relegation.
All right. The Manchester United is 7 points above the relegation zone.
You were brought in to come and better the situation, and you are looking at us. We agree we are going to suffer, but not to suffer in the championship. For you to utter that useless statement for me, look, I'm not buying all this crap. I understand that the decay in the club is a decay spanning over 11 years. I agree, but I am not buying that crap. To tell me that the squad is so terrible to be relegated. Are we worse off than West Ham? Are we worse off than Southampton? Are we worse off than Ipswich? The coach has to stand up on his bullshit and correct it. Bullshit and correct it. If you must stick to the 3-4-3 formation or 3-5-2, whatever you intend to play, then you must have to fix the right pieces. You have been mixing and chopping and changing for 11 games, 2 months now, and yet you can't even have a starting 9. Starting 9. United will be 3 goals down. All you will do is to make a substitution of your 2 central backs. Are you mad? Are you sick? What's going on in your brains? What are you trying to achieve? We're talking about, Ugarte is the only guy who is able to, block opponent offensive channels, plunging to tackles, recover balls, and recycle balls. And then, we're 60 minutes, you take him away. We are saying, Maguire is trying to pick up a bit of form. Okay, I understand. Delete, took ill and was up to 2 games, and then before you know, Maguire is trying to steady game, trying to finish. You take him off. He's not starting. You bring someone else, and then you are telling me that you're trying to get your. That is madness. That is madness. That squad is, I maintain it, that squad, the crop of players in that Manchester United squad are not as terrible as this man is making them appear. And I tell you something, the reason why he's escaping this thing is because it is perceived. 2 reasons, that these players were bad prior to his signing for Manchester United. And then secondly, there is the whole media packaging that these players are Erik ten Hag players. And let's not forget, for those of us who know Manchester United and who are following some of the very, big boys who report very private things like Andy Meeting, we know that Zexi is not a Ten Hag signing. We know that Lenny Euro is not a Ten Hag signing. We know that Mazraoui is not a Ten Hag signing. The only Ten Hag signing this summer was Matthijs de Ligt. But obviously fans, with the whole emotions and the whole feeding on what the media is giving them, are refusing to do their proper research and get truths and facts. But we know the pieces who have read and all those insights that we have, that some privileged information have been able to get. Yeah. So, look, tell me that you are a manager for Manchester United and Ahmad has been the only winger starting your game consecutively for 8 games. That is crap. You've got Garnacho on the bench. You've got Rashford on the bench. Whatever going on between you and Rashford, that's fine. You have got Anthony on the bench. Are we using? At least you have wingers.
Don't you think? I think the whole of last season, but I think let's not
forget. Prior to his signing again, Højlund was picking up form. He had gone 6 games, scoring and assisting, creating chances, being explosive again and hungry. And all the mix and chops and changes, suddenly, it's like he's disappeared again. Look, I can't buy this thing. I can't buy it against Wolverhampton. I can't buy it against Nottingham Forest. I can't buy it against
what are you expecting against Liverpool?
Bro, to be honest, I'm hoping that he's not stupid. I'm hoping that Ruben Amorim is not stupid against Liverpool. And for him to make sure that he fields proper midfielders and wingers in that game to attack. Because we are going to Anfield. Don't go and fool yourself that you are going to be conservative and not concede. They will batter you. It's not possible because they will play through your ranks and they will play long balls, whichever way you want it. That is the dynamics of this current Liverpool side. Their manager is not only dependent on long balls, he can play through you.
Yeah.
The squad is playing through the midfield. They will knock you football. Their confidence is for me, I think is on all-time high currently. They have smashed Liverpool, they have smashed Arsenal, they have smashed Man City. Their confidence is on all-time high right now.
They smashed Real Madrid, they smashed Liverpool.
Real Madrid, Leverkusen, everybody, everything that was supposedly presented to them as a possible threat, they have cruised right past them. For this one game, if he knows what he is intending to do, I will rather you go. If you want to play your 3-4-3, no problem. But you have to make sure that there is energy in your midfield, your flanks, and your forward. For me, to be honest, the central defense, I said this thing a couple of weeks ago. I think Man U is sorted as long as central defense is concerned. I am saying this thing, as long as central defense is concerned and our right defensive side, we are sorted this season. And so if you can have a starting trio, for me, your starting trio at the back should be Maguire, Delite, and Leniero. Then your right wing back, you can play then Mazraoui and Ahmad. Then on the other side, you can then consider playing Anthony and Garnacho. Then in the middle of the pack, you can start Bruno. Ugarte, Kobe Mino, and Bruno. Højlund. Energy and pace and threats. So whatever team you are playing, you know that you have. Look. These things are not rocket science. Sometimes these managers make it seem like they are doing some amazing job. You're not the one playing the football. You are just talking and mixing and changing, and then these lads are the ones playing the football. If you look at Mazraoui, the last 2 games has been a shadow of himself.
Don't think he's exhausted.
Obviously.
You know the wing back. You know that wing back role is too exhausted. That's the excuse I'm trying to give this guy. Dalot played the whole of last season. Dalot is the only player that was present. Let me just say he was the only player that was present last season. And now you're playing him as a wing back, and the wing back role deserves a lot of energy. Like you need energy to play that role. And now that this guy
this is why I started off by saying that Ruben Amorim will not make me believe that squad is terrible. That squad was 4 points away from top 4. That squad was 4 points away from top 4. I cannot buy that. That squad is not worse off the squad that David Moyes inherited from Sir Alex Ferguson in terms of physicality and age at the time. I can't buy that. For me, it is Manchester United first before any coach or manager. I care less what you have. Look, I don't buy. Now, Ahmed, we've been talking football for well over how many years now? 11, 12 years. I don't buy sweet talk. We don't fool me by sounding philosophical with amazing eloquence and sounding all tough and all assured and all that. I don't buy that. You can't fool me by that.
You are moved by results.
I need to see the results. I need to see what you are saying. You have picked up the team, and all you've only done is nosedive. The same squad that went 4 games unbeaten under Van Nistelrooy. Now you have come. We expected a new manager bounce. Okay, no problem. It didn't happen. We said, all right, we're going to forgive you because it's a new system. But bro, whatever system it is that is taking you 2 months to implement, my brother, two things are involved. It's either you are foolish, you are not good enough, or it's not just going to work. And let's not forget something. This is the Premier League. You can't play that formation for 2 straight seasons in the Premier League and get the best of your players. It's not possible. A league where you have some of the world's best physical, talented, energetic, pacey players in the middle of the park and wide, it's not possible. They will run you riots. You can't play that formation in England for 2 seasons. Ask Conte.
But the Conte not play that for like 2 seasons at Tottenham.
What happened in the second season? Get the best of your players that way. Premier League is massively demanding. Zlatan Ibrahimovic came to Premier League. How many? Just a season and plus he spent to Premier League. Go and ask him. He's saying the same thing. Some of the world's best players have come to Premier League and they're saying the same thing. Cristiano Ronaldo keeps hammering it. It is the most difficult, most intense league. It will take everything out of you, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. It's going to ruin you. We see managers come to Premier League, even as little teams, as mid-table teams, they come to Premier League and they become a shadow of themselves. You see young managers in their mid and early 30s, managing clubs the sizes of Southampton and all that. Look at McKinney. McKinney is aging backwards. Do you know how old McKinney is? Go and look at McKinney now. Look at McKinney.
He's just 35, right? Huh?
Look at McKinney now.
He looks 40.
Just look at McKinney.
Let me check.
I don't buy. Look, I don't buy all this. To be honest, I don't buy it. You can't tell me that squad is that terrible. To be honest. I just hope he wakes. For me, it is Manchester United before any individual, as long as that club is concerned. I care less what is happening upstairs.
He's 38. McKinney is 38.
Arsenal Football Club went through everything they went through financially, but at least they were steady top 4, top 5 for the entire period they were doing whatever they were doing.
I finished it twice.
No, I'm talking under Wenger. I'm talking when they went through the whole, having to get the new stadium done with, trying to see how they kept on selling players, grooming the young players and all that. That phase, it was quite a very terrible phase. And glory to God on their behalf. They had a sensible manager like Wenger. Because the kind of managers that could manage such situations for football clubs, I don't think you can just handpick them. There are not much of them that wouldn't cave under such degree of pressure. So I'm not buying this crap. To be honest, I'm not buying this crap. That squad is not that bad. What stops you from 40-something minutes, 50-something minutes, switching to a traditional 4-4-2?
He has already
Switching to
said it that he's not switching from his philosophy. He has said this thing countless times. When will you guys accept it that he has? Just accept it now. He has already said it. He has said it countless times that he's not switching. From day one, he said he's going to play his back three. And that's what he's doing. Ten Hag was criticized. Ten Hag was criticized for ditching his philosophy to just go for results. Now this guy has come and said, "Okay, I'm going to stick to my philosophy," and people are still complaining. So why are they complaining?
You don't get it, Ahmed.
Mm-hmm.
Ahmed, you don't get it. What I'm saying is, whatever philosophy, Ahmed, this squad is not that terrible. I'm standing on this. Whatever philosophy, if you even come with a philosophy of 10-1 formation, 8-2 formation, 1-8-2, whatever crap you come with, that squad is not that bad. Are you looking at the teams we lost? We lost to Wolverhampton Wanderers.
New manager.
We lost to Nottingham Forest.
Nottingham Forest is not a bad side this season. You know that.
Bro!
The annoying part is that the bad part is that they lost at Old Trafford. That's the annoying part. But had it been
We lost to these players playing terribly. Sorry, we lost to these teams playing terribly. We lost to Newcastle playing terribly. Okay, another take. You've conceded over 20 goals since 21 goals to be precise. And of those 21 goals, about 14 of them are from set pieces. And these set pieces, about 12 of them are from corner kicks. You've got a set piece manager or a set piece coach, whatever they are referred to as. You've come with your magical squad, your magical coaching, whatever, with the world best, the renowned geniuses that have, been known to do the best whatever in football since you started managing. No problem. You've been served the club on a platter, and then you still serving me that crap.
We have 5 more minutes. Let's round up. We have 5 more minutes to go.
I'll tell you something. Against Newcastle, look at the way they defended. Look at the way those 2 goals came in. It was the same thing. Play through the middle, send it to the right of Newcastle, which is left of Manchester United. Swing along diagonal to the other side, bring the ball back into the box, and they score. Against Wolverhampton, look at the defensive setup. That was exactly the defensive setup I'm talking on the corner kick against Arsenal. Why are you standing by the byline, in front of the post, by the goal line rather, when you are not going to be physical? And you watch these opponents, they literally barricaded your goalkeeper. And the stupid Onana, I thought he thinks it's a joke. First off, you have to understand the league you are. Premier League is a very corrupt league. Officiation every game is terrible. What is good for the geese is never good for the gander as long as the Premier League officiation is concerned. You guys are professionals who are doing this thing every week. Averagely 2 times a week. So what is obtainable? Look at the way they defended the corner kick against Wolverhampton. Exactly the same bullshit that happened against Arsenal. And one will think here that they have gone in to correct this thing and they've got a set piece coach who have looked at this thing, who have drawn out whatever, see what's going on, and then try to fix it. Are you going to defend on man? Okay, fine. You said you want to defend zonally. But if you're defending zonally, you should pick either triangles or squares or whatever way you intend to defend. And you have to be physical. You have to go for it.
Let's round up.
A lot of things are wrong. And I'm saying this thing. I'm not going to say just the players. Let's hold all these managers on the same pedestal which we've held previous managers.
So what's your score prediction for Liverpool game? Final question.
Manchester United will lose.
Final scores.
Manchester United will lose. I just hope it's not by a wide margin. That's all.
All right, Dan. Thank you very much for joining me. I'll see you after the Liverpool game.
Enjoy the rest of the day, Ahmed.